Okay, started. Hello, hello everybody. Wow, there's so many people coming. Wow, that's great. Thank you. So this is a meeting about non-duality. Non-duality is it's a word when I was young I never heard of it, and it doesn't matter if you know or can say something about non-duality because it's really not important. This is not about knowing. This is also not about clarity. There's no clarity here. That seems odd to say, because when we're talking, and when I'm talking or some other speakers, it seems like there's a lot of knowing because it can be clear what's being said. But at the same time, there's nothing left. So everything is lost. And then when everything is lost, there's no one. So there's not only there's Rose with no me, something that maybe some people think. It's not about having no me. It has nothing to do with it. Me was never real. It's more like that. There never has been me. And when we talk about me, we're talking the story. Me is the story. Without me, there. When there's a little child, could say, like a little child, there's no awareness. It's just everything is happening without knowing, without anything. It's only screaming or walking or anything. There's nothing going on. And then after a while, like maybe 2-3 years old, there's something the brain can abstract. And then suddenly, when there's a contracted energy, that can be before, there's nothing happening, and suddenly there's a contracted energy, and it seems like, oh, I'm here and there's someone there. And then suddenly that whole thing, like a separation, you could say, can become apparent. And then it's like, oh, there's something lost. Somewhere there's a feeling of, there can be a feeling of loss, or something is missing, or it feels completely different than when there's nothing going on and there's only one. And then suddenly there's two. So there's that feeling of there's something gone wrong, something missing. This is not it. But it's more embodied during the years. This is a story just to explain how things can work. And when there's that development, it's that contracted energy is more embodied. So that idea or that belief that I'm here, and there's with that coming that feeling of that idea that I have a free will. I have a choice also. So then there's becoming somebody with a survival system, how to deal with my life, how to do the things, what's good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong. It's a lot of right and wrong in the story. And then there's trying to feel good, because it seems like when I feel good, that's a bit similar to that oneness. There's something like, and when feeling bad, there's something going on like, oh, there's something going on like, I should do something about it. It's about feeling good and not feeling bad, or things are awful or nice. And it's always about, I want to feel good, or not I want, but it's about feeling good. It's a search. The search is going on, and the search is about what can I do to make myself happy, because everything is about me. When there's that me construct or idea that I'm here, then everything seems to happen to me. Circumstances seem to happen to me. I'm in the story and everything is happening to me. So it feels like I'm the center of what's going on. Being busy with my life, how can I deal with things? How can I relate? What do I need? So there's a lot of things going on about that. It suddenly stops. Whoa. That idea that we have about how to deal with life seems so normal. Oh my God, there's something happening wrong in the same time. Right. What happens when there's me? There's also awareness. There's looking at myself. There's noticing what's going on and trying to deal with things by thinking. When everything is lost, there's also no awareness. But the awareness is not necessary. And we think the thinking about things and trying to deal with everything to control what's going on. It's really important that that seems to have to help to live my life in a good way. And the strange thing is, it has no power at all. That thinking, thoughts, don't have any power. Awareness is only part of that me construct trying to deal with, because the assuming that there's something gone wrong is feeding the search and trying to find how to make it right, how to do the right thing, what can I do about something that's hurting me, so it's pain, so that's wrong, and how can I make myself more comfortable, for example. It's a misunderstanding. There's nothing wrong. There's only that what is happening. So there can be pain, there can be feelings, but we assume that everything is happening in the body. The body isn't real. Nothing is real. That's when there's that construct, like I'm here and I'm living in my life in the story. And suddenly everything seems real and solid. And that whole awareness and that everything is lost, it's so obvious that nothing is real. It never was. But the brain can abstract, so it seems like there's living a story in time and distance. But there is no time, and there's also no distance. And we are so used to abstract, so we also abstract like there's something before and there's something after. So when there's talking about there's no time, that doesn't mean only not Wednesday or Saturday or things like that. But it's also there's no before and there's no after. So when there's no before and there's no after, there's no development, there's no continuation. So when there's I am here, the only thing that can be I am here is living in time, because when there's no time, there's no me. There can't be a me. There's only that what's happening. So time is a construct. It's when they're little children, they don't understand time. So it's not something that's real. It's something that can happen when we abstract and we understand how planning happens. But in the end, there's no time. There's also no distance. So there's also, when there's seems to be happening something here and over there, there's no over there. So there's also no here. In the story, they're still talking like that, but there's no over there and there's no here. There's no before and there's no after. There's only this. There can be a hand or the table or a feeling, but there's only one. There is already only one. So that idea that there's something missing, maybe there's something not satisfying or not enough, something like that. What normally is when there's me, there's always something going on. It's not complete yet. There's a search for something else. Maybe what you want, or maybe it doesn't feel all right, or maybe it's not natural, or we have all kind of ways to talk about it. It's part of the survival system. It can be very clever to mention what's going on. That's what me does. Looking at itself, having thoughts about what's going on, what's happening, and mentioning like there's pain, and there's something. Oh, that's where does it come from? Why do I have that? All that. There's no why. There's no reason. Also, that's part of that whole construct of being someone in a dream of me. But there's no time. There's no relation. For the relation means there's someone else. So there's not only here, there's already no me. Or here, there's no here. But there's no me, there never was me. So that this is already complete. There's nothing going on. Like there's something wrong and what can I do or maybe understand to make it right. It's already complete as it is. And that can be pain or feelings or warm tables. And it's not about us or me or you. That feeling that this body is real and then I'm inside. It's not only that this body is real of Rose, say, and there's not someone in it. Even the body isn't real. Nothing is real. It's only appearances happening. And there's assuming that this body, so this is the border, and this is apart, and this is apart. So we can assume, because we can abstract it as all different bodies. It's strange to hear that there's only one. And it doesn't mean that there's no, there can be seeing that there's another body there, because the brain can still abstract. That's more in the story. In the same time, nothing is real. There's only appearances of everything, tables and chairs and feelings. This is unconditional love already. There are no conditions. There's nothing going on about right and wrong. It's a construct in a story. There's something right, there's something wrong. It can't be right or wrong. It's what it is. It's very simple and very ordinary also, without looking at it or making it in a different way, because that's what me does. When there's a feeling and it feels like stressy, there's immediately, like you could say, jumping on it or taking it home and trying to deal with it and trying to get rid of it. How can I do that? Something like that. When everything is lost, there's no escape from anything. So there's only, when there's a feeling of, there can be stress, there can be panic, there can be any feelings, but feelings are not happening in the body. It's happening in space, you could say. We assume, because we think this is my body and it's happening, everything is happening inside. It's happening in me or for me. Even like thoughts are not personal. Thoughts happen in space, feelings, bodies, streets. And nothing is mine, or there is no center. And when there's me, it seems like there's some places that it seems like, yeah, it's here or in the head maybe or somewhere. We assume it's there because maybe there's a tension or something like that. When there's the tension, there's only tension. Has nothing to do with me. So this is so ordinary and simple. There's nowhere to go. There's no meaning. It's already what it is. And we can talk about this. Maybe there are questions, maybe there's a sharing of something. Maybe there's saying nothing. And there can be questions in the story. It doesn't mean that in this kind of situations you have to have a good question, a non-duality question, or things like that. Then there's something happening in the story that can be questions. And we'll see what happens.
Yesterday we talked about singularity. Just to give an example now, you said, oh, it stopped.
Yeah.
So the stopping and the noticing are singularity, two different things happening. Like
Yeah. It's meant, yeah.
But when I sit here, it seems like you notice that the speaking was stopping,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but you didn't. So it was two things
Yeah, yeah.
just
it's good
happening.
thing. Yeah.
So everything is
But
singularity.
it's not only here, it's everywhere.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
But just to give a very concrete
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
because it was so.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it didn't even happen there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it is. It's that and there's something.
Total singularity with
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, it's everything. Yeah. We assume there's a relation between things.
Since there is no time, it's not possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there can't be something wrong, and that's what we normally think. There's something going on, and oh God, what's going on here, and why, and all that. It can't be wrong. It's what's happening. It's going nowhere. Life doesn't have a meaning or a purpose. Also, this meeting don't have any purpose or meaning. It's
So we were talking just a while ago when the meeting started about speakers, other speakers, or it was you as a speaker. And first time or several times I went to such a meeting, there was always some hope that afterwards something will show up, or
yeah.
there would be more resonance or whatever, but it wasn't. So it was kind of disappointing. Oh, nothing again. Well, same thing. Well, confusion again.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's. I think there was the search, and the knowing, wanting to know, but there's nothing to find. So it's so nothing's going to be today. Nothing's going to show up today either when I leave here.
No, because what normally is going on is there's a search because there's somewhere a feeling of dissatisfaction, or it's not complete, or there's still a me, or all those things. And that's the misunderstanding. It's already complete. But when I'm saying it's already complete, you or maybe somebody else would say, yeah, but I don't feel that. I feel like this, and then the whole story is about something. And hearing it's already complete can be like an offense, because I don't feel that. I feel like I'm not satisfied, or it's not enough, or I'm not good enough, or all that's going on. My life isn't working. It's much more simple. It's not about you. It's not about you. But you can't say, oh, I don't think about me as a me anymore, or things like that. And this is what we're talking about. This is also about loss. And normally what we do in the story is trying to find out, or trying to be more clear. So to get something, to go somewhere, to get something that it feels more comfortable, or how can I get something or do something to be more comfortable or happy. This is about loss. That's completely the other way around. You can't do loss, of course. You can't say to yourself, and most of the time you don't want loss. You want something to feel better about yourself or about your life. So it's lost, and then it's even what you said, like, oh, there's less knowing, or even not knowing, or losing the motivation, or things like that. That kind of, yeah. There's expecting something that has nothing to do with this. Yeah. It's not a special state or a special moment. There can be moments and suddenly me isn't there. And I think during the day, a lot of times there's no one. So then there's walking and there's nothing going on. But it's not noticed because there's no awareness. So it's not noticed. So it feels like, oh, yeah, I don't know if that's going. For here, that for me, it was like when that moment that everything was stopping. I was busy with trying to think about myself and all that, and that was suddenly it stopped, and it was suddenly it was really clear, and that fell away too. And then for a while, I didn't know there was something different. That was not a feeling of there was something different. And then there came stress, and I thought, oh, there's me again. And but there was nothing picking it up or doing something with it. But because there was no awareness anymore. I didn't notice. So I didn't see that there was something, that there was a change, because the awareness wasn't there. And when there's awareness, there's always busy with, oh, is there some change, or how is it going, or all that. So that's part of the construct of me, trying to find out if there's a change, or thinking like, oh, it's less me now, and all that. But it's the same story again. So, yeah. But that's so the normal way. It's not you doing that. It's so energy is so used to do that. Mm. And it's not, life doesn't see you, so it has nothing to do with you or me. Life doesn't see someone as separate individual or something like that. It's random what's going on, and we think it's about us. And when it's not what I want or I feel good, then it seems like it's going wrong. Life doesn't see you, so we're not important. can be a lot of dissatisfaction about what's going on in your life. And trying to deal with it and finding out what I can do about it. And maybe they're thinking, oh, I'm going to non-duality meetings because that's clear that other things don't work or I'm not interested in it anymore. And then there's going to non-duality meetings and there's thinking there's still something like something I want or something underneath. Maybe there's understanding or a clarity about what's going on and there's no need. But that suddenly can be a longing for something else. For this, how your life is going, it seems not right or seems not really natural or going. And there's looking for something else. And then there's coming in these meetings and there can be a disappointment because there's not getting anything. And that's maybe, there can be a search for something like, maybe you don't even know what, but hearing this is already complete can be strange. Not getting anything.
Thank you.
And hearing, it's not about understanding. It's not even about clarity, because that seems like something that when I'm sitting here maybe and it's getting more clear and clear. It can happen, that's more clarity, or maybe there's understanding. But that's very on a superficial level. This is not about understanding. That's nothing to do with understanding or clarity at all. It's already live, so it's already a glass of water. There's no need for anything, no need for understanding. It's already that what's going on. And that's part of it.
Can be quite freeing also, not have to understand.
Yeah.
And try to understand everything from the start.
Yeah.
It's very freeing. I don't have to understand.
Yeah. Can be also a threat because there can be a hole in that
Not
feeling
true.
that
It's like
something like that
freeing.
can also
Yeah,
relaxation
very
about. There's no need.
Yeah, no.
There's no need for anything. That's crazy because we're always busy because there's something missing somewhere or there's something. Maybe they're going into understanding or something else, relation or anything. But we try to find it in the story. We try to find it somewhere in the story. What can I do when I have a relation? Then maybe then it's going better, or maybe when this is happening, that's going better. And then hearing now, it's not about anything. That's completely something else. Yeah. It's not in the story. This is not about the story. It's another possibility.
Here collapsed in me apparently since 1 year and a few months. And it's a great joy and amazing to meet you in person. I saw a lot of Zooms of you, with you, and of Tony Parsons and everyone.
Yeah.
And it's not about the words energetically. I was really amazed by in the story meeting.
Thank you for sharing.
Speaking, it happens by that.
Yeah, yeah. Mm. Mm. Life is joy. It has nothing to do with Rose or something. It's like life is joy. It's that. And then when we are separate, it feels like there's a loss of something, but we don't know anymore what it is. And somewhere maybe there's a remembering, but they're so looking into the story about what can I do about it and how can I find it and how can I get it back or things like that. And it's not in the story. So that's completely new in a way because that seems like the only way. And then suddenly there's something going on like outside the story. What is that? You can't even imagine that. You can't grasp it. And that's what we're not used to. It seems like a mystery, and then maybe you want it even more because you can't get it, and then it seems like something. And then there's hearing, oh, it's already. There's no need to look for it. It's already the resonance. It can be a resonance, and it doesn't need to know what it is. It's that already. That's what's going on. There's also nothing going on trying to reach what we assume maybe when there's someone in front of the room. It seems like, oh, that person has it, or there's happening something with her, or something. I want that maybe, or something like that. It has nothing to do with it. It's already, so the way the body is looking, or that how the speaking is happening, is complete already. So there's nothing wrong or right with what's going on. It can't be right or wrong. It's exactly how it's going, how it's looking, how it's the hearing starts, or how the curtains are. It's what it is. It has nothing to do with right or wrong. It's what it is.
Can you explain that again? With there's a concept, it is what it is. Can you talk about the difference?
Yeah, there's something else. When there's hearing this message and trying to find out what we can do or how we can deal with everything what's happening in life, then there's hearing, oh, it's what it is. And then thinking, oh, yes, that's it. And then when there's something happening and maybe there's pain or something like that. And then saying, oh, pain, yeah, pain is just what it is. And then that's making the pain in something else. So that's already dealing with something. So it's it is an escape mechanism, trying to not feel the pain and doing something with that, like saying, oh, it's what it is. So it seems not as bad as just only the pain. And this is when they're talking, it's what it is. It's saying, no, there's no escape. There's nothing going on. That's not during, that's only talking like that in the meeting. When there's, you could say daily life in that way. Then when there's pain, it's pain. There's nothing coming up like thoughts like, oh, this is what it is. No, there are no thoughts about it at all. So there's no escape from that what's happening. Well, it doesn't matter because then the escape mechanism and then maybe not wanting it when there's pain and there's a subtle immediately things like, oh no, like I don't want that something, or how can I read of it, or something like that. It's like that makes it even like, there's a fight going on, you could say that. When there's nothing going on, then there's pain and there's no trying or it doesn't come out. Pain is pain, there's not so much it's not awful or so, it's pain, it's a sensation somewhere. It can be very strong. Well, when there's nothing going on, I don't want it. It's not bad or no, it's pain. Completely different. And it's not about accepting, because that seems also the same, something like that. Because there are a lot of things also from spiritual things, that it's about accepting the pain. But it's not even now. There can be, no, it's not about that. That's on top of, there's nothing on top of what's going on. So that when there's pain or something else, there's nothing arising about how to deal with that. And when that's arising, that's part of that me construct, trying to deal with what's going on and make it a little bit less painful or less awful. You can't deal with it. That's what we try to, because there's something going on, there's something wrong with something. And how can I deal with it? How can I make it more comfortable, all that? There can be sometimes, suddenly it happens, and it's making that whole construct, living my life, more comfortable, can happen. But still that feeling like being in a prison somewhere, and then it's maybe more comfortable. But still there's something going on. It's not really that freedom where I'm looking for, freedom or happiness, or there's some remembering when there's people going to this meeting. I think there's some resonance, some remembering of what's going on. Maybe not really, but somewhere, and there's a looking for that. And that me can't hear this. Me, that whole construct. It's the only thing that when there's me, there's trying to deal with everything. It's not talking to me. It's not seeing that there's no one. There's never been something. So when me or that whole construct isn't heard, it's falling apart. Nobody listens.
I love when you say life is the boss.
Life is the boss, yeah.
When Tony says that this is falling in love.
What Tony says
This
is,
is falling in love.
yeah. It's life is unconditional love. It's a lover. It's like it's unconditional. There are no rules. And when I'm living my life and there's something going on and this is better, there are a lot of rules and ideas about how to behave. This is good behavior. This is wrong. This is right, and all that. And this is about, it's unconditional. There's no rules at all. There are no rules. That's the freedom. It's everything. So it doesn't matter what it is. It can be anything, everything. It doesn't matter what it is. It's not about right or wrong. It can't be right or wrong. It's what it is. A table. And it's not even the name, but it's just because we're talking like it's saying that. But it's floor. It's sitting. It's that already. Not for anyone. There is no one.
Would you say this is about the five senses? Mostly?
It's about the five senses.
Five senses, yes. Like seeing, hearing.
Yeah, you can say they're seeing, but it's not seeing for someone. There's seeing, there's curtains or things like that, or smell.
Yeah, without someone, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. But without, well, there was the seven senses, which is also feeling and thinking. Without those, just the five.
They're
Touching.
thinking.
Yeah.
They're thinking and feelings. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's true. So yeah. So there's yeah, because everything is happening in space. It's not only here in this body. This body isn't real. It's not only this. Nothing is real. So there are no borders. We think this is the border of my body. But there are no borders. That's only what we assume because we see it like that. When there's sound, sometimes even with sound, you don't know where it comes from. That's already something else. So that's more obvious. And feelings, we assume it's happening inside because we are so convinced that it's happening in the body that the experience is not like that. It feels like it feels. And funny enough, it's very clear there's nothing going on inside the body. And I can be going to the doctor and say, oh, my knee is hurting. Or something like that. So it's funny that that's still going on. And it's very obvious. The knee can be there, but it's there. It's not. There's no continuation, so there's no body of Rose. It's impossible to understand because that's so the normal way of how we live. That the body is there, and I'm living in my body, and it's going. And then hearing, no, the body isn't real. You can be seeing hand. That hand is. But that's it. And then there's something going on filling the gaps. So it seems like there's a continuation.
Yeah, the way people live, as a generally speaking, is very restricted. It is controlled by a calendar, by time, by measurements, distances.
Yeah, distance and time.
Yeah. It's very.
Yeah.
It's all about not being good enough.
Sure.
This is what's happening now, but there's a better place.
Yeah.
Further away. Yeah, to get to.
Yeah.
Something
it's so
better.
embodied that it's not only in the mind, but it's so embodied and it's so confirmed everywhere. So it seems like the normal way. Busy with bad news and making it right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just listen to the news. It's just I mean the way the world is. It's just the way people are just focused on news.
Yeah. Because when there's something going on, I'm not good enough. It's not only I'm not good enough. There's something else not good enough.
Yeah.
So we have to make it right.
All the time.
With all ideas about how what is good and what is not good.
Change the environment and the everything, the climate. We have to do it.
It's always the same story.
Yeah.
That's, in that way, it's always about there's something not good enough, and I will make it right. It's never ending. It's never enough.
But what's going on in the world with
there's no world.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a world. There's no outside. There's this room. That's very obvious. What do we know? It's like assuming there's an outside and there's news. So we assume, oh, there's another country. There's happening something. There's only that part of that news, that images about that. And then when it's gone, it's gone. And just walking in the woods and not thinking about that images. And we assume that there's a country over there. There's no country over there. There's this. That's everything. This room. That's crazy because we're so focused on outside, and it's also about safety. I think a lot of things are about safety. Because when there's feeling I'm separate from you are here, I'm here, then it's that there's some loss, and there's also some fear going on, like how to deal with everything, how to make my life work and all that. So there's looking for safety and I can't speak that word. Continuity. And so that's continuation. So that's how it's going. That makes it safe and solid, and it feels like control. So it's looking for that.
Yeah.
But it's also limited. So that's the dissatisfaction, because that limitation, so you want something else. So it's an endless search for something which isn't in the story. But there's looking, the looking is in the story. So it's never ending. It's when it's maybe there's found, I found my partner and all that. And then after a while, yeah, it's not completely what I wanted and all that. So there's something going on again. Yeah. And it has nothing to do with some other person or circumstances. It's that coloring, what's that embodied feeling that colors what's going on, making it right or wrong. Because it's like when there's a feeling like stressy or heavy, it feels like it's an idea that that's wrong. It's only a heavy feeling. What's wrong with that? It's a heavy, and it comes and goes, and something else goes on. Doesn't even happen for me. But that's when there's contracted energy, it's so locked in that body, it feels like that. And then there's the world, the threatening world, and how to deal with everything. But then there's trying to control. It's not, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's how it's more describing of how it's going. And how to deal with that, and a lot of how to deal with maybe health or maybe other things. But the final thing is that there's something missing, something wrong, and it's coloring everything. There's nothing wrong. There never has been something wrong. It's a misunderstanding, but it's so embodied that you can't think yourself out of it.
Well, but there must be situations when things are wrong. It can't be always right.
No, it's not right or wrong.
Okay. Yeah, let's say we spoke yesterday about murder or war or hostages or let's say terrible illnesses. So there would be something, a situation I would want. There would a situation that could be changed. Could be changed, maybe.
That's in the story. When there's me, it's feeling it. Maybe there's pain or sadness or whatever feeling. But it's not wrong, it's that feeling. It's neutral. And we are so looking from a distance, we're looking at it. And when there's a distance, looking at that situation, there's always a divider, like this is right and this is wrong. And there's no divider, so it doesn't mean you say when that you stand in front of that person, then there's something going on. I don't know what will be said, but there can't be something wrong. It's an appearance of happening, so nothing is real. But pain happens, and sadness and all that, of course.
But Rose, when you have teeth pain,
Yeah.
you never have a thought about I should eat too much sweets or I should brush my teeth
More
often. Yes.
No, I don't think so. I don't, yeah, it's difficult to remember what it was, but there's not much going on about why and what I should do. I can't. So I can't, I had some, I don't even know why I was going. There was some, I was going to the physiotherapist, I don't remember even why it was, but that. And then she said, you have some exercise, you need to do some exercises. And I said, oh God, I'm not good at that. Oh, she said, I will send you and you print it out. And, okay, so I put it on my, in the bathroom like that. I never did it. And I was really into, yeah, of course. And then I read it and it's reading it and it's going out of the bathroom and it's not doing it. And maybe it's doing, it doesn't matter, it's both, of course. So it's not up to, there's no decision. There can be a decision. Yes, I will do it. And there's not doing it. I think everybody knows in a way, thinking, yeah, I'll do it. And then suddenly, oh, completely, we say forgotten, but it wasn't there. Or if very, very conscious of doing it, it's the same thing. Yeah. Because there's something, can be something going on. I'm in control. Then I'm in control of the body. And then when the body is all right, I feel better about myself. That's in the end, it's about that all right. And there's no control. It seems like that. It feels good to have control in a way, to believe that. But I never was. And sometimes it happens like that and it feels good, like, oh yeah, I'm doing the right thing and all that. But there's also another times that it's not going that way. So then there's trouble. So it's always, sometimes it goes well, oh yeah, and maybe for a while it doesn't go. It's an endless search for something else. This is about, there's no choice. There's no choice in anything. There's no one doing it. The thoughts can come up. It doesn't mean they have power or they do it. It's thoughts. It's when you think about it, it's crazy to believe it's not wrong, but it's something like it's only thoughts going. And we believe there's meaning in it and power. We do when we think that and we decide that it will happen. It has nothing to do with what's happening. Amazing. Yeah.
Can I ask you something in the story?
Yeah.
Of course, it's a frequent and pretty common question, I guess, but there is just a curiosity, apparently, that how was you dealing with your family in this apparent change? Of course, there is no distance, but I love the stories. The stories are amazing too, and I am curious how it was, because it's you had a video where you say that everyone has a different package or different body-mind construction, of course, and it's heavier or not, or I really just curious.
Yeah, the funny thing is,
they think about you that you are crazy or something like that. That you went crazy or not, or something.
Yeah, no.
Or something was more strange, or
I think with friends and children, I don't think they notice. I can't say. Some people ask about patterns also, like if they change. I really don't know because there's nothing going on. But if there's a pattern or not a pattern, there's nothing busy with it. And that's what we normally do. We will think like, oh, I always, when I was like, what I remember, I was busy with, I don't know if the English word is assertive. When somebody says something, I didn't know what to say back. So, and after that, after the meeting, I thought like, oh, I would say that, I should say that, and all that. So I thought I did a lot of working on that because I was in spiritual search also very long. So I did work on that and it's going better or not better. And then when when everything fell away, it still goes on. I was with a friend and it was an obvious situation. It's just a story, but it's like that. It's just we were sitting on the couch. We had all our stuff on the couch, and we were just walking a little bit there. And somebody else went sitting on that couch, and we were like, "What's going on here?" But together, and we didn't say anything, and we walked away with our stuff. And finally, we said, "Why did we do that?" Or something like. We just laughed about it. And I was like, "Oh, I didn't change at all. There's no change. Or maybe there is. I don't know. But I don't care. So what? Then that's what's going on. So what? So there's nothing going on about what's better. Or how, I had a lot of ideas about perfection and how I should be or could be. I don't know. It's what's going on. You could say there's a relaxation about, because there was a lot of ideas. I'm not good enough in all kinds of ways. So that's not there. There's nothing going on. I'm not good enough. That's not arising. It's amazing how that's just not arising. That doesn't mean that's feeling like I'm okay or things like that. No, nothing. It's just natural. Yeah, it's just normal. It's so normal that I can imagine that when everything falls away, then it's not even noticed. No, because it's no big deal. Also, it's not much energy or all that. No. I remember when everything was lost, there was a split second like a disappointment because I was thinking in a way like, oh, there will be some energy or people will see me or all that. No, it wasn't like that at all. It was nothing going on. It's so strange. And it's so normal. Yeah, during the day. You get used to it also. Yesterday, you were saying something about the feeling that there's some joy, there can be some joy. I was thinking then, yeah, life is joy, but you get so used to it that it is joy, that it's not even noticed that it's there. So there's a joy, yeah, it's there. And there can be anger or any feeling with that, but that joy is just the normal way of living. And I forgot that it isn't normal for everyone.
Yes. Yeah. When there are no filters, the feelings can be more, that was really, can be more intense sometimes.
Yeah, sure. They're sure they're more
When a
intense.
character is more dynamic or more with temper, then the feelings can be more.
Yeah, anything, yeah. And it's short. It can be short, and then it's not there. But most of the time, I don't even know what it is or why. It's so what? So what? But it's not that I don't do that. It's not coming. It's not right. Those ideas about what it's about. It's just not arising. Those thoughts. Mm-hmm.
When you say isn't real, you mean as an object or a name or as energy? Energy is real.
Yeah, energy. It's like when they're in the desert, you have that. How do you call that? Luchtspiegeling. It's like when you're in the desert and you can see a city in the desert, but it's not real. It's like
Mirage.
Mirage. Yeah, that's it's like that. But it seems, because we believe it's solid, it seems solid. It's the same.
So because it's belief, that's because seems real.
Yeah.
Because the belief is there.
Yeah, it's both. Yeah, the belief is and the experience are together. So because people say, I can touch it, that
Yeah,
feels
yeah.
steady.
That's what I
But
mean.
the touching is that when there's a sensation, but there's only a sensation. That doesn't mean it's real. It's that sensation.
But the sensation is real? Okay,
No,
the body is not
nothing is
real,
real.
sensation
It's
also not
no,
real.
nothing. Also, sensation from it. But it doesn't mean you can't feel them. The feeling is can be intense, and at the same time, it doesn't happen. It's strange to hear that. It's like that. It's very. It can be very painful or sad, and at the same time, it's not there. To tell this.
But in the meaning of it's already not there,
It's only like pain. We should. You can. There's a sensation of pain. It can be very intense, so it feels real for most people. Of how to explain. It's not that explained. It's like, and it's the pain isn't there, and it's an appearance. It's obvious, but you can make it. You can't make an image of it or understand how that is. It can be suddenly like, oh, that's what you mean. Oh, now it's like, oh yeah, something or not. But you can't imagine that or something like that. I think you can't.
So pain is like a physical mirage.
Yeah, it seems like yeah. Yeah, but it's never real.
No, I get that.
But it seems like it doesn't mean you don't have pain because that's something that's not what I'm saying, of course.
So we have no control, but apparently if you have a headache, you can take an aspirin, that can happen.
Yeah,
And I mean, anything can happen.
yeah.
But it maybe might feel like a choice, but it's not really
Yeah.
a choice.
Yeah. Because we think in relations and time. So when there's a headache and taking a pill, it's immediately someone would say, yeah, that's because of the headache.
Mhm.
It's
There's no connection.
no, there's no relation. There's no relation between anything because there's no time. So it's very strange here because we're always thinking in time. There's something happening before, like a headache, and after that, I'm taking a pill. When there's taking a pill, the headache didn't happen. There wasn't headache before. There's only one. We think there's two. We always think in two or maybe before and after, and reason and why and all that. So then there's only one that's impossible to understand. Or maybe it can be understood. I don't know. So it's very easy because when there's why and because and all that, it's like, oh, I have to deal in a good way or this is right or this is wrong and all that. That's completely off. So in that sense, it's very easy. There's nothing going on about right or wrong. Does it mean it's always comfortable? No, of course not.
So if you see the Gaza war on the news, you can still comment on it.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
You can be saying something, and then there's walking in the garden.
Yeah.
Everybody does, but there's assuming that's real. No, that's not assuming it's real.
I think the me's love these connections, good connections, to everything, to feel like safe and to feel in control. And
Yeah.
okay, now my view of the world is,
Yeah.
safe or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'm on the right side and they are on the bad side, or the wrong side. Yeah. Me is always on the right side. Anyway, it's funny.
Sometimes when people ask me, why did you move to Budapest? Is it because of this? Is it because of that? Is it because of... And actually, I have no idea what they're talking about. It's just that I don't know. And then they get frustrated because they want a reason. When I don't have a reason. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's
So
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not, in the end, there's only not knowing. We don't know why. We invent or we assume it, we know why. But
Yeah.
we
Sometimes
don't.
I just make up something just to
Yeah.
shock
Yeah,
the
yeah, why not?
Rose, how come you're talking about this? What's the reason for you to write a book? What's the reason for you to come to this
There's
place?
no reason.
No reason.
No, it's suddenly, when this all felt everything was lost, there was nothing going on wanting to talk about that. I didn't talk about it for years. I don't know, 3 years, 4 years. No? And then suddenly I was talking with people and they asked me to do in my home meeting, so it started a little bit like that. And then the book, writing a book, it's crazy because I already wrote some other books when I was in that spiritual search. It's like you can't do anything about it. It's there or it's not. So they're sitting, and then when there's nothing going on, it's just you can't write. And then suddenly it's coming, and then there's writing down. And then after a while, there's nothing coming, so it's stopped. So this has nothing to do with motivation or wanting or anything. It's just like talking. It's there or it's not. But it's the same as everything. There's no meaning in, and also in the book, writing a book or in this talking, there's no meaning. We think there's meaning and we can maybe learn something from it or get something for it, all that. There's no meaning. This doesn't go anywhere. Just talking. That's the joy, that's the freedom. It's not about anything. It's just already what's happening. If you know it or not knowing, it really doesn't matter because there's no need for that, of course. It's already what's going on. Life isn't interesting in that everybody knows, oh, it's like, no, it's already, so there's no need for anything. That's the joy, that's the freedom. It's already everything. And it doesn't have meaning, it is. The tree, what's the meaning? We can think about all things, that's what we do in the story about meaning of everything. Because there's a feeling of loss and trying to make it in a good way or always feeling happy or all that trying. So that's underneath every motivation. There's something going on like, what is in that for me? Something going on. And life doesn't see me, so it's endless. That's the joy, that's the freedom. It's going nowhere. It's already is, like it is, that's without anything, without meaning or purpose or no. It's like little children, no responsibility. Yeah. It's all those constructs about behaving and you should be like that and all that. It's all a misunderstanding.
In the story, do we have in this story, there are some friends who are on a spiritual journey, and I think open-minded, somehow also very much into Christianity, and there's sometimes some talk about this, and this is really weird to speak about this. It's like running into a glass wall. It's like you just can't really talk about this.
There's only talking about this when there's some opening, and then there's easy to talk about it. Then they're here too. Then when there's no openness for this, I can't find the words.
Yeah.
Or there's nothing. No. And sometimes with somebody who seems like just interested, and then suddenly it's coming. So, but it's with everything. And the sharing of this is not so much, it can be in words, but it's not so much in words. It's energetic. It's about there's nothing right or wrong. So that's, and there's no me. So it's lived in that way. So it doesn't matter what you say, it's lived and it's in the energy of what's going on. So there's no convincing or trying to share or Maybe we should start the break. Yes, not yet the coffee, but maybe sometime. But like some more, like half an hour, maybe something.